Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to listen with an open heart and a willing spirit. What I am about to share is not merely information, it is a call, a challenge, a truth that demands your attention. We live in a world of noise, voices from every direction pulling us toward distractions, confusion, and uncertainty. But there is a voice greater than them all, a voice filled with wisdom, purpose, and direction. It is the voice of truth. Some search for meaning in wealth, yet find themselves empty. Others chase after status, yet remain unfulfilled. And many, in the pursuit of pleasure, discover nothing but sorrow. But let me tell you, true purpose is not found in what you possess. It is found in what you live for. The world is full of distractions, but truth remains constant. Everywhere we turn, we are bombarded by voices competing for our attention. Social media, television, advertisements, and even the people around us all try to shape our thinking, our values, and our decisions. In this age of information overload, it is easy to become lost in the noise, uncertain about what is real and what is merely an illusion. Yet despite the countless opinions, shifting trends, and endless streams of content, there remains one unshakable reality. Truth does not change. People have always sought answers. Since the beginning of time, humanity has pursued knowledge, hoping to unlock the mysteries of existence. Philosophers have debated, scientists have researched, and leaders have proclaimed their visions for the future. But no matter how advanced civilization becomes, there is one thing that remains unchanged: truth. The fundamental principles that govern life do not shift with the passing of time. Right and wrong are not determined by popularity. Wisdom is not subject to human opinion. What is true today was true yesterday and will be true tomorrow. Despite this, distractions pull us away from what truly matters. We are told that success is defined by how much we own, that happiness is found in pleasure, and that our worth is based on external achievements. The world tempts us to chase after things that in the end leave us empty. Fame, money, and power may seem desirable, but they do not satisfy the deepest needs of the human heart. People who have attained great wealth still find themselves searching for purpose. Celebrities who are admired by millions still struggle with loneliness. Those who have reached the pinnacle of success often discover that it was not enough. The reason for this is simple. Distractions deceive us into thinking that temporary things can provide permanent fulfillment. They convince us that if we can just acquire more, achieve more, or experience more, we will finally be at peace. But peace is not found in possessions. Joy is not rooted in accomplishments. Meaning is not discovered in momentary pleasures. True fulfillment comes from aligning our lives with unchanging principles, from seeking what is lasting rather than what is fleeting. In a world of constant noise, finding truth requires intentional effort. It is not something that simply appears in the midst of distractions. It must be sought out, prioritized, and held on to. This means turning away from the voices that lead us astray and tuning into the wisdom that has stood the test of time. It means questioning what we are told and measuring it against what we know to be right. It means valuing integrity over popularity, depth over superficiality, and wisdom over convenience. Many people fear standing for the truth because they worry about how others will perceive them. They are afraid of being different, of going against the current, of standing alone. But truth is not determined by the majority. What is right does not become wrong simply because it is unpopular. The greatest figures in history were often those who refused to compromise their values, even when faced with opposition. They were the ones who understood that standing firm on truth was more valuable than gaining the approval of the world. It is easy to be swept away by distractions when we do not anchor ourselves to something solid. When we base our decisions on fleeting emotions or shifting cultural trends, we find ourselves constantly changing direction, unsure of where we are going. But when we root ourselves in truth, we have a foundation that remains steady, no matter what storms may come. The world may change, opinions may shift, and circumstances may be unpredictable, but truth is not. It is the compass that guides us, the light that illuminates our path, and the firm ground upon which we stand. Distractions will always exist, and they will always try to pull us away from what is essential. They may appear in the form of entertainment, materialism, or even relationships that do not align with our values. They may come through seemingly harmless activities that, over time, steal our focus from what truly matters. But no matter how loud the noise becomes, we must remember that truth does not compete for attention. It does not need to shout to be heard. It is always present, waiting for those who are willing to listen. To live a life that is meaningful and fulfilling, we must learn to recognize distractions for what they are. We must resist the temptation to chase after what is temporary and instead pursue what is lasting. This requires discipline, awareness, and a commitment to seeking wisdom above all else. It means being willing to walk a different path even when the world offers easier alternatives. It means understanding that the most valuable things in life are not those that fade, but those that endure. Truth is the anchor in a world of uncertainty. It is the foundation that keeps us from being swept away by distraction. And though the world may try to pull us in 1,000 directions, those who seek truth will always find it, unchanged, unshaken, and constant. Wealth, status, and pleasure do not bring lasting fulfillment. Many people spend their entire lives chasing these things, believing that if they can just accumulate more money, reach a higher social standing, or indulge in every pleasure life offers, they will finally find happiness. The world teaches us that success is measured by what we own, who we know, and how much enjoyment we can extract from life. But the truth is, these pursuits, while momentarily satisfying, leave a person empty in the end. Money is a powerful tool, but it is not a source of true happiness. A person can have millions in the bank, live in a mansion, and drive the finest cars, yet still feel lonely, restless, and unfulfilled. Wealth provides comfort, but it does not provide meaning. It can buy entertainment, but it cannot buy joy. It can offer security, but it cannot give peace. There are countless stories of people who have risen to great financial heights, only to realize that their riches did not satisfy the deepest longings of their hearts. Some of the wealthiest individuals in history have spoken openly about their inner emptiness, their longing for something more, something that money could never provide. Status is another illusion that people chase, believing that if they can just gain the admiration and respect of others, their lives will be complete. Titles, positions of power, and recognition from society may feel rewarding, but they do not bring lasting fulfillment. A person can be celebrated by thousands, praised for their achievements, and still feel unseen and misunderstood. The approval of others is fleeting, and those who build their identity around their status will find themselves constantly striving to maintain an image that will one day fade. History has shown us that fame is temporary. Many who were once admired are forgotten, and those who were once at the top often fall. If a person's sense of worth is based on their reputation, what happens when the applause stops? What happens when someone younger, more talented, or more influential comes along? The pursuit of status is an endless race with no finish line. Pleasure is perhaps the most deceptive of all pursuits. The world tells us that the key to happiness is to experience as much pleasure as possible, whether through entertainment, material indulgence, or physical gratification. And while pleasure can bring temporary enjoyment, it does not create lasting fulfillment. A person may chase after momentary highs, seeking excitement, adventure, and thrills, but each experience eventually fades, leaving them searching for the next. The danger of living for pleasure is that it often leads to excess. When one pleasure is no longer enough, a person seeks more, constantly increasing the level of indulgence, yet never reaching true satisfaction. Pleasure without purpose becomes an addiction to the temporary, leaving people empty when the excitement fades. The reason why wealth, status, and pleasure fail to bring lasting fulfillment is because they are all external. They are things that exist outside of a person, and they cannot fill the deep internal need for meaning and purpose. People who have everything the world offers still wrestle with questions like, why am I here? What is the purpose of my life? What truly matters? These questions cannot be answered by material possessions, social standing, or fleeting pleasures. They can only be answered by something deeper, something that is not dependent on circumstances or external validation. There is a reason why the most meaningful moments in life are not tied to money, fame, or indulgence. Think of the times when people feel the most alive, the most connected, the most at peace. These moments often involve love, relationships, purpose, And acts of kindness, they come from giving rather than receiving, from serving rather than being served, from living with intention rather than chasing after temporary gratification. Those who have dedicated their lives to something greater than themselves, whether through faith, service, or personal mission, understand that fulfillment is not found in what they have, but in how they live. People often believe that once they reach a certain level of success, they will finally be happy. They tell themselves, if I can just make this amount of money, if I can just get this promotion, if I can just experience this pleasure, then I will be satisfied. But when they finally achieve those things, they often find that the happiness they expected does not come. Instead, they set a new goal, thinking that perhaps the next achievement, the next milestone, will bring them what they seek, but it never does. The cycle continues and the emptiness remains. The reality is that no amount of wealth, status, or pleasure can fill a heart that is searching for deeper meaning. The world has conditioned people to believe that happiness is something they must chase, something they must earn, but true fulfillment is not about acquiring more. It is about understanding what truly matters. It is about seeking something beyond what the world offers, something that does not fade, something that is not dependent on circumstances. Those who realize this find a peace that cannot be shaken, a joy that does not fade, and a purpose that does not depend on external success. Your life is a gift, and your choices determine your purpose. Every breath you take is an opportunity, every sunrise a reminder that you have been given another day. Yet too often, people drift through life without realizing the significance of their existence. They wake up, follow routines, chase temporary goals, and react to circumstances without truly considering the power they hold. The power to choose, to direct their path, and to shape their destiny. Many go through life believing they are merely a product of their environment, that circumstances define their future and that they have little control over the outcome. But life is not about what happens to you. It is about how you respond. Each decision, no matter how small, sets the course for the days ahead. A simple act of kindness can change someone's world. A single moment of courage can open doors to new possibilities. A choice to learn, grow, or persist can lead to transformation. Every action creates a ripple effect, influencing not just your own life, but the lives of those around you. Some people wait for purpose to find them, hoping that one day they will stumble upon a grand revelation about why they are here. But purpose is not something that appears out of nowhere. It is something that is built, choice by choice, day by day. Purpose, day by day. It is not a sudden moment of clarity, but a journey of intentional decisions. The person who dedicates time to learning finds wisdom. The one who invests in others builds meaningful relationships. The individual who commits to discipline achieves excellence. The small choices of today shape the reality of tomorrow. There are those who waste years waiting for the perfect moment to pursue their dreams, to make a difference, or to take a step forward. But life does not wait. Time moves forward whether we act or not. Some choose to spend their days in regret, thinking about the opportunities they missed, the wrong paths they took, or the mistakes they made. But regret is only useful if it leads to action. No matter how many wrong turns have been taken, a new direction can always be chosen. The past does not have to define the future. The choices made today can create a new path, a new story, a new purpose. Fear often holds people back from making bold choices. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of stepping into the unknown. But avoiding decisions out of fear does not eliminate risk. It only guarantees stagnation. Growth requires stepping beyond comfort, embracing uncertainty, and choosing to move forward even when the path is unclear. The greatest achievements in history were made by those who dared to choose courage over fear, action over hesitation, faith over doubt. They understood that purpose is not found in safety, but in stepping into the challenges that shape character and strength. People often believe that purpose is reserved for a select few, that only those with extraordinary talent or unique opportunities can live meaningful lives. But purpose is not about fame, fortune, or recognition. It is about living intentionally, making a difference in the ways that matter, and using the time given wisely. Some find their purpose in leading, others in serving, some in creating, others in teaching, some in providing for their families, others in healing the broken. No path is greater than another if it is walked with integrity, love, and commitment. Every life holds value, and every person has the ability to impact the world in ways that are meaningful. Excuses are easy to make. It is easy to say, I will start tomorrow, or I do not have the resources, or I am not ready. But waiting for the perfect conditions often leads to a lifetime of inaction. The truth is, no one ever feels fully prepared. No one has all the answers before they begin. But those who make the choice to start, to move forward despite uncertainty, to take small steps toward a greater goal, are the ones who eventually find their way. Purpose does not come from waiting, it comes from doing. Each person's life is filled with defining moments, times when a choice must be made between settling for less or reaching for more, between taking responsibility or blaming circumstances, between living passively or stepping boldly into the unknown. The difference between a life of regret and a life of fulfillment often comes down to these choices. The question is not whether opportunities will come, but whether they will be seized. It is not whether challenges will arise, but whether they will be faced with determination. It is not whether mistakes will happen, but whether they will be used as stepping stones for growth. No one else can live your life for you. No one else can make your choices. The direction you take is in your hands, and each decision either brings you closer to or further from the purpose you were meant to fulfill. The life you have is a gift, a chance to create, to influence, to love, to serve, and to leave a lasting impact. But it all comes down to the choices you make, for they are the architects of your destiny.